'Twas a very, very, very productive week, and yes, I did say twas, and it sounds stupid, and I've already been hammered by people on 9gag, but it's a journal de jour, so I think it'll be fine. And of course, I'm gonna keep the diary format, and here we go. Dear Diary, it's the end of Monday, and I believe this is the first time anybody would say that making a procedural generation dungeon was a good idea to test out an open world game. And today we did the most. We set up all how the dungeon's gonna generate. I put in the skeletons, so I think you guys saw last week, but there's already skeletons that play around now. All the generation works, and there's also a map that's in the game. Oh my god, we did way too much. Today, Monday, I think if you guys are interested, definitely check out our stream online. Dhruv streams every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Monday we streamed way too much that I don't think I'm gonna put everything in. But it's looking very good today, and tomorrow, while Dhruv is gonna be busy Tuesday and Thursday, I'm going to clean up the rest of the stuff and start working on some of the cleaner, better rooms to make it more interesting on Tuesday. And tomorrow will just be me, but Monday Dhruv did a lot with me, and I think we can probably finish the dungeon this week. So, Dear Diary, I made a bunch of new materials and items specifically for the dungeon, so what we are going to be able to test out the cooking and the gathering aspect within the dungeon. So if it works here, it will work in the overall game, and today was a lot of creation, and I think a lot of my art works really, really well. I think we are going to make it so that all the dungeon is going to be handled by a dungeon manager, and Dhruv already made it so I can specify the specific drops for each dungeon, and I can, in the future, I'll just be able to come to this one script and then change everything, and this will make everything a lot easier in the future to make new dungeons, should the dungeon be good. I made more rooms also, and I think it looks pretty good, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so Dear Dungeon, on Wednesday, today was fast. Dhruv made the whole map, and oh my god, it must be hard, but it helped us clean up a lot of other things, and specifically for more maps, making maps more interesting and all that stuff. But I can't believe we have a mini map in the game. I think throughout all the time I've ever made a game, I've always wanted a mini map above a overall map, because I think it's the hardest one to do, and it really gives everybody a frame of reference of where you are in the overall world, and I really wanted that. So it's very exciting to see we have something similar to that now. And today we also streamed. You can check out our stream highlights. But tomorrow it's going to be me again, and I think I'm going to try to do as much as I can before Dhruv comes back on Friday, and I'm going to obviously make it the best I can. Oh, and Dhruv also finished the scythe parts, so yeah. Yeah, sounds like something that would have been most important from the beginning, but realize that progression requires progression, and going through the dungeon won't be fun unless you have something to gather, and that's probably what I'll be focusing on tomorrow. Dear Diary, sure Dhruv made the scythe part, but I believe I'm gonna redraw all the scythe parts, and I did. It looks a lot better. I have a lot more customizations. On top of that, I made a lot of new scythe parts that you can actually use in the game. So, for example, whenever you roll, you leave a spinning bone around, and that deals damage to people. When you do up attack while you're grounded, you actually summon a wind that pushes enemy upwards, and yeah, a lot of new items, and they will be dropped from enemies. And now all the enemies in the dungeon are also skeleton based now, so they all have skeleton. I even drew new weapons for them, so they actually hold their own skeleton weapon. I think it looks really, really cool. I did so much that I don't exactly remember all the stuff I've done, but I drew a lot, and I think the dungeon's looking really, really good. I even made a new entrance, so now the dungeon actually has a better flow, at least in my opinion. I wrote down a bunch of bugs that Dhruv will have to fix tomorrow, but they're all very, very small, and I don't believe it'll take too much time. And yeah, we'll see. Dear Diary, I think today was the best day out of the week. Not only is the dungeon pretty much finished, we've Dhruv fixed all the stuff very quickly, so ended up starting to talk about mini bosses in the game. I'm animating a skeleton zombie, which you guys will probably see, and on top of that, Dhruv fixed a bunch of things, so all the skeleton bone items that are dropped now works and looks pretty good in my opinion. You guys can judge whether or not that's true. The skeleton spider was actually quite annoying to animate because I think I have arachnophobia. I realized that when I was playing Skyrim and I got really uncomfortable when I saw a big spider. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good and you guys can check it out. I also added one more new bone ability, but I'm not gonna spoil too much of it. I do want to say is we have talked, Drew and I, and it seems like we might have to remove the dungeon manager into the general region manager because we definitely want all the script to apply into the main game, right? And I think it will be better organization. I think Drew says that as well. And so we're gonna move everything to region manager. And our idea with the mini boss is similar to those who have played Diablo 3 or Diablo 2. There will be a specific enemy chosen, and he will be bigger. He might have a glow. He might probably have a particle, and we're gonna be able to drag a scythe part into them. And that's generally how it's not exactly that, but they'll have a scythe part ability. So, for example, like I said, if you can roll and leave a spinning bone for the enemy spids, when they're rolling, they might do the same thing as well. So the mini bosses will create a significant difficulty to challenge for the player, and on top of that, they will all be a little bit different because we're gonna make a lot of scythe parts. I made the one that was my favorite, the grave upheaval. So when you jump, whenever Eduardo lands, he will shake the ground, and then there will be a small earthquake with a bunch of bones flying around, and it will temporarily stun for half a second, and then also deal very little amount of damage. But it's really annoying because Eduardo will be able to use, if he has this equipped, he'll be able to use it every time he lands. So you can do a small jump and you'll activate it. Now think about what happens if the spiff or the boss has this. Oh my god, it's gonna be super fun. But yeah, this week was very fruitful. I really liked it. Despite Dhruv not being able to work on Tuesday and Thursday, he was very productive Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if I had to give him a progress report, I would give him an A. And I'll see you guys next week.